I'll show you something. I found I've got another plastic bottle, so that means chopping time. We'll test out something that I haven't tested before, and that's my Marauder. Cold steel Marauder. Bowie for those of you who say that. It's decent size. I don't have, I'm not doing reviews on all this stuff. I'm just showing you what I got, my general thoughts on it. Never used this thing. This is 100% factory edge. This just sits next to my bed because it's a pretty convenient spot to keep it. We'll test it out. Factory edge. Start at the top here. Okay, so it is shaving up there. I seen there were some black marks on there. I thought that they must have been damaged, but it was actually just the plastic from inside the Securex sheath. So we'll test that on the red neck sharpness tester, and yeah, it is cutting the odd hair, so it's sharp, but it's not sharp enough. And down the bottom here, which really isn't relevant for the test I'm going to do. Okay, so it actually seems to be quite sharp down the bottom here, but that's not going to help us in this chopping test. So yeah, these little patches here is where I just shaved. Hasn't been stropped, hasn't been nothing, so it's a good test. So again, 2 litre soft drink. This is going to be a pretty hard target to go through, so should be a good test. Spine thickness is on that. What are we guessing there? 4.5 mil, 4.5 mil, or something like that. Maybe 4 mil. Blade, I'm going to say that that's roughly 9.5 to 10.5 inches thereabouts. It's got a good, nice long clip on it, which is blunt. It's nowhere near sharpened. Got a decent little bit of belly to the blade. It's got the sub hilt to it. Some of you don't like that. I guess I'm not the biggest fan in the world of it, but anyway, it is what it is. Let's get chopping, because I've got a couple other things to show. I'm still up in the air whether I give it full power or just try and find that little sweet spot. I'll just go the mediocre sweet spot. Try for the lid. Piece of piss. Okay. Can I get to the bottom? No. Put a bit of a cut in it though. So, what I do want to show is when I came out here, is all of this stuff, this furry stuff. This is a green seed pod from a vine that was growing on the fence. It's coming from the neighbour's place. Don't know what it is, but obviously these ones have opened up, and this is the fluff that's coming out from inside it. Now, this is what you kind of want to look for, this sort of stuff here, when you want to start a fire in the bush. You want to be looking for these really fine hairs. So I've got my ferro rod, and I want to try and get this going. I'm wearing my little, that's the sheath I made for my Ultifer's heavy duty knife. This knife's never been used. This was a new one that I bought to go with the sheath, just because I liked my other one of these so much. So let's see if this is going to go. Woohoo! One and done. Did you see that? That was basically like, that was like a pan of 4F black powder. That just went straight up. So there you go. That's what you want to look for. Doesn't have to be that plant, just anything that's got those real fine little hairs on them. That's what you're looking for in the bush. Yeah, this sheath works really well. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show was this is like a dodo, something that's extremely rare, something that's made in Australia. Okay, these are work boots. I went to the workshop yesterday, and this is pretty much about one of the only brands, Mongrel Boots. I'm going to give these guys a plug. Aussie born and bred, it says. They're made in Australia. There's a couple other brands. There's Redback, but they don't make this style of boot. They just make that very generic steel toe work boot with the leather on the ankle. That's just like a slip-on sort of a boot. That might be alright for your forklift driver, or you know, your lathe operator, or somebody like that who's not really going to be doing a whole heap of stuff. But when you want when you do the sort of stuff like what I'll be doing, form work and construction, carpentry, that sort of stuff, we're climbing frames, we're climbing scaffold, we're doing all sorts of stuff that's definitely hard work, hard on your body, but also they get wet. There's going to be, we'll be tying steel, we'll be walking on steel, so there's going to be lots of sharp wire, lots of cut steel that's going to sort of potentially cut into them. Concrete dust everywhere, and when you mix concrete dust and water together, they destroy boots like you wouldn't believe it. Now, the other thing I have to say is there's other companies that were Australian manufacturers of work boots. So there's like Blundstone, Oliver, Blue Steel, and there's a few others as well. And they will have everywhere. Australia, since established Melbourne or Tasmania, blah 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 blah, since 1930 or whatever they'll say. But they're not made in Australia anymore. They've gone to China, Cambodia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, those places. So don't believe me, have a good look in your boot. You might have to pull stuff inside out, look on inside the tongue. You know, Mongrel boots, they're really comfy, they're a really good boot. They're basically exactly the same prices everywhere. This is the other killer, right? They're deceiving you. They're pretending that they're made in Australia. They want you to believe that they're made in Australia with false advertising little tricks. They've sent the manufacturer overseas. but they didn't bring the price down. Okay, so these things are competitive, and look at the quality of these boots. Okay, look at the soles, look how clean cut they are. There's no mold sort of lines on there. They got the toe protectors in the top here to stop your toes busting out the sides. This is usually where they'll break. On all of my boots they usually let go here and here first. So they still sell them uncapped, but most of them are got the protective rubber cap on them now, and they're fairly lightweight too. I can't say enough good about them. Heat, oil, and acid resistant, air zone comfort system. They've got quite a good high arch inside them. Not sure if you're going to be able to see inside there. They got a really good inner sole, works real good. Even though they got little, they are plastic actually. It's the first time I've seen plastic ones. That the center one there is a steel one, but they got they're actually, they might not be. They might be like a powder coated steel D-ring and eyelets. Look at the stitching. Really good quality boots. And I believe these were $200. I've seen them online for about $194. And because I've been back a few times and got a few other people to go to that shop, they gave us a discount. So yeah, man, look for Mongrels. Don't pay the same money for shit that's made overseas when you can get an excellent quality boot made in Australia, supporting other Aussies, giving Aussies jobs, especially now where our government's actually just trying to destroy our economy and destroy jobs. So yeah, I think it's definitely worthwhile. It's definitely worthwhile giving them a plug, you know. So I believe that was everything I was going to say. Okay.